Welcome to River State's Conference Men's Soccer Media Day for the Point Park University portion. I'd like to welcome in Pioneers head coach Cameron Williams. Welcome.
Good morning.
Coach, we'll jump right into it. You already have one game in the book so far. And before that, how was preseason and how are things at this juncture of the year?
Preseasons have been going well. As you mentioned, we've already got one game under our belt that we successfully defeated Goshen here at home. But the guys have been working really hard in the preseason. And this preseason was a little bit different because we incorporated the workouts with our trainer 2 days a week. We purchased our Stat Sports stuff, so that's kind of given us some data to be able to monitor players' progress throughout the preseason. But the guys have really been putting in a lot of work, so happy with their progress.
So overall, Coach, what are the expectations of this season?
I think coming into this upcoming season, it's about consistency for the Point Park soccer program and our players. Consistency across the board, on and off the field, and making sure that we play good soccer. And that's been the main focus, is making sure that our guys do everything on a consistent basis. So expectations this year, yeah, we expect to be competing in every game. We expect to be consistent in what we're doing and what we're trying to accomplish on the field.
So, Coach, who are some returners who you will rely on to be key players and leaders for you?
I think you're gonna see a lot of new faces this year, but I think our two captains in Corby and Phillip, the expectations for them to rely on them, to lean on them when things may not be going our way, to be good leaders, to be good role models for our players on and off the field. So we will rely on those guys. Those are senior guys for us that we expect a lot out of. So there's guys all around our pitch that are going to be dangerous for us this year, but to be that steadfast, that part of that foundation we started building last year, those two guys are definitely ones we plan on leaning on.
And switching over to newcomers, who are some newcomers who you expect to make an impact this season?
We have quite a few. Like I said, we have quite a new faces this year in our program. One that we expect at least to make, or at least two guys, Janildo da Silva, who transferred to us in the spring from Barton, Alexi Lamontagne from Canada, he transferred to us from Old Dominion. Those guys we expect to lean on, as well as some of the older guys as well. Jaume Genevard, senior, who we expect big things out of. He was able to get a goal in our previous match, but those are guys we expect to be able to produce for us up top. And like I said, we have a lot of players that are going to be dangerous for us on the field.
So, Coach, we already had one game of which to see the product on the field, but what will the Pioneers team look like this year, if you could let fans know what kind of team you have out there on the field?
I think we're more athletic than we were last season. We're faster, we're stronger, and that's due to the work that some of the guys put in the spring. But a very dynamic team, guys that are versatile, that can change roles very quickly. But we want to put a good brand of soccer on the pitch, and I think we did that in our first game. And like I said, we got to be consistent moving forward.
So you touched on this a little bit, but what are some strengths of this year's team?
Some of the strengths is going to be, and it has to be, our togetherness, our ability to weather storms when things get difficult, our ability to score goals at will. So we have the ability to do that. It's our players continuing to believe that they can, and even when things get harder. So I think those are some of the strengths that we will have to lean on this upcoming season.
So let's talk about the RSC. What is it about the River State's conference that makes it tough day in and day out, and your thoughts of the conference going into the year?
The conference, it's changed over the last few years. It is a bit still top-heavy in some areas, but I think every time we go against a conference opponent, we have to be prepared, no matter who we're playing. Whether it's the team at the bottom or the team at the top, if you don't bring your best game and you're on the road, it could be a very tough match for you. So once again, my guys have to stay locked in. They have to stay focused and never underestimate anybody in the conference, and make sure they keep moving forward.
So, Coach, I asked you about expectations off the top, and you were talking about the process and making sure you stay with that. Do you talk about where you want to be within RSC and really specify that, or is it more about the process?
We set the goal this season to be at the top. We want anything less than that is not our way. If we lower those expectations, we want to be first in the conference, and we will be pushing and fighting for the top seed this upcoming season. So I think we have the talent. I think we have the players. Once again, going back to that consistency, the process, we have to be consistent in what we're doing and make sure that we outwork teams. And my guys have done that so far, and we got to continue to push every day.
Okay, Coach, last question. Overall final thoughts as we get ready for the year.
I think for this upcoming season, we have to, as a program, take a positive step. Last year, we got back to the playoffs after missing it the previous year. Now we're looking to continue to elevate the level of Point Park men's soccer in the conference, in the region, and then eventually national. So, like I said, we've set high expectations for ourselves because we believe that we can get there.
All right, Coach, thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Welcome back into RSC Men's Soccer Media Day with Point Park University. This time we have some players, Philip Harder on the left and Corby Ring on the right, a couple of captains for the Pioneers. Guys, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's start it off with you, Philip. You have a game under your belt. It was a win over Goshen as we go into Media Day here. But even before that, how has preseason gone and thoughts of that first game?
So first of all, I feel like before we even came in for preseason, the guys came in a lot more fit. So we've done good work in the spring and over the summer. So once we got to campus and we started preseason, we could build on a lot of stuff, playing with the ball, what we like to do best. So we didn't have to start from a lower point. So since then, we have been working hard every day, trying to get better every day and trying to work on the things that we have to execute on the field. And so far it has been good, of course with the first win already, but we're going to keep working and trying to get better every day.
So same question for you, Corby. Thoughts of everything that went into leading up to that first game?
Yeah, I think the boys were working really hard. I think we did come in way fitter. I think the returners knew what to expect this year is a little different than last year with a new team and a new coach. And I think we came very prepared, and the newcomers caught everything in stride.
So we'll stick with you, Corby, on this one. What are you most looking forward to heading into this season?
I think getting back at a lot of the games last year where we felt we could have done better. The Rio game, WVU Tech, and IU East are the three games for me that come to mind. I think with the team we have this year, those are results that we have to get.
Same question for you, Philip. The thing that you were looking forward to most going into this year, both you guys in your second year at Point Park?
Yeah, definitely, like Corby said, doing better against opponents we thought we didn't do our best last year, and also playing some ranked opponents in the off-conference schedule that we have this year. It's some great chances to see where we're at.
So, Philip, you're a captain. Both of you guys are. So from that leadership standpoint, what are your expectations for this season?
So first of all, to have like a winning record for the season for sure, which we didn't get last year. And then what we focus on is definitely the postseason. We did make playoffs last year, but we want to see to make like a deeper run into the playoffs and see how far we can go there.
Your expectations, Corby?
I think Phil hit the nail on the head. Postseason play is a big deal. I think that's the ultimate goal, and also to get first in the regular season championship. We were picked third. I think that shows that we're at the top of the table, that we're one of the top teams here, and I think we can fight for that first place spot.
Okay, Corby, what do you see as strengths of this year's team?
I definitely think Coach hit the nail on the head with the fitness. We knew what to expect this summer and this spring, and we worked really hard, and I think that we'll be able to outlast any opponent that we play against this year.
What do you see as strengths, Philip?
Let's say compared to last year, definitely we have way more depth off the bench. We have a lot of good players returning and a lot of new players coming in who can challenge for positions. So that competition definitely will help us throughout the season.
So let's talk a second about the team makeup. I mean, you guys are in your second year. some returners, but there's also a big group of newcomers. How has that come together? Is there a good chemistry? Are the guys fitting well together? Philip?
Yeah, I feel like the group has come together quickly. We have a lot of good guys, not only players, but good personalities there. And like we mentioned before earlier as well, we have a lot of returners who can like kind of lead the new players in and don't have to, it's not everybody is in, it's new. So some people can already let the other people know how it is to play for Point Park.
So back to Corby, a kind of related question, but with the newcomers and the returners, I mean, what did you see in that first game that was there some getting used to, and thoughts there is that after one game under your belt?
Yeah, that first half was a little rough. I think our chemistry still needs work. We only had the one exhibition game before we got into it. But I think the second half showed that we can put goals in the net, that we can play together, and we can be strong together. I think you saw with our celebrations how united we are, how happy we are when each other succeeds, and I think it's just up from here.
Okay, last question here. We'll talk about the RSC. You guys got a look at it last year. What do you see as keys to be successful within the River States Conference going up against those teams?
I think consistency. I think last year we started conference play really well, and then as the season wore on, we got a little burnt out, and it was hard to keep the level up. I think this year, with knowing what to expect in the teams, I think it'll be a lot easier to play through the whole season and to keep fighting.
What do you see, Philip, in the River States Conference as keys?
Yeah, definitely that what Corby said, the consistency. We know what we can do when we're at our best, but it's difficult, or that's the challenge for every team, to be at their best every single game and to have the chance to get the points or keep the points for us.
Okay, thank you very much, guys, for joining us. This was RSC Men's Soccer Media Day from Point Park University.
Thank you.
Thank you.